If you want to know who was making rumors about my husband, just ask the Godfather. Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm Raphael and I'm here to review season 16, episode 17, and the finale to The Real Godfathers of Atlanta. So we start the finale off with Portia and her sister Lauren heading over to Phaedra's house. Portia, she lets us know a little bit more about what happened with her cousin Londi. You know, last week we found out that she unfortunately passed away, but now we found out that she was actually on the phone with Lauren when she passed away. And I mean, I can't even imagine what Lauren must be feeling, right? Because I mean, that must be so traumatic to be on the phone with somebody that you're so close with and hearing them take their last breath and you can't even be there for them in person to at least say goodbye to them the right way, right? Like, how do you even process that within what, 1 or 2 hours, they said? Like, that is sad. So I do feel for her and Portia. For some reason, Phaedra, she's in charge of the whole funeral arrangements. And I mean, I get it that that's her job and that's what she does, allegedly, outside of being the Godfather of Atlanta. You know, but we'll talk about that later. But I mean, Portia, was there nobody else available? Like, is Phaedra the only funeral director, you know, in Atlanta that you could find for free? Like, and then on top of that, Phaedra, she tells Portia, isn't the pastor who's gonna be there, isn't he cute? Like, Phaedra, the funeral hasn't even happened yet and you're thinking about dick. Like, can we have some respect first? And then Portia, she tells Phaedra,
wait a minute, hold on, Phaedra, hold on, Faye. If we do the butterfly reveal, are the butterflies gonna come back to us?
My stomach hurts. Next scene. Let's go to the next scene. Next scene. Then we see Angela sitting down with her therapist, Dr. Wendy, not to be confused with Dr. Wendy from Potomac. She starts telling her, you know what, Wendy? I bought these 2 random houses down the street to have a storyline this season. You know what a storyline is, right? Yeah? Okay, exactly. Well, I bought those 2 houses to try to renovate them as if I gave a fuck. But I just feel like I can't do it anymore. I don't know what to do. My husband, he stopped investing in them and I just feel like I'm losing not only the houses, but my husband as well. Even though my husband, he hasn't been showing me love these past couple of episodes. And you should see Dr. Wendy, like, it's been bad. Like, I called him on our anniversary and I was like, oh, I love you. He was just looking at me like, oh, okay. But you don't want to know that, right? Okay, we'll talk about that in our next session. Here goes Dr. Wendy. Dr. Wendy was looking at her like Sheree in that one episode. Tell me more. Yeah. Wait, what about Charles? Give me all the tea. Just soaking in all the tea, right? Because, I mean, I didn't hear her give any type of good advice at all. She's just listening, right? But, I mean, I guess that's what therapists do. And speaking of Angela, look what my mom bought me when I went to go visit this weekend. Ta-da! Wait, let me turn it on. And it goes in turbo mode. Hold on. I see why Angela carries one of these. It's just so relaxing, you know. Make me sweat, make me hotter, make me lose. Oof. So then we get to this high school talent show that Shamia is hosting at this giant auditorium. The entire cast, they all get together for this long-awaited performance of Shamia's t-shirt. And according to Shamia, all the respected music labels, executives, they're all there that night specifically to watch her perform. And according to Shamia, this is how you launch your music career, or specifically her music career, and this is how she's gonna be well respected in the music industry. So then Drew in the confessional, she's like, well, you know, since I'm the singer of the group, singer being said very loosely in that sentence, you know, since I'm the singer of the group, I'm here to witness Shamia's vocals and to see if she has it like that. And I'm like, that is pretty bold of Drew to say when her album just went double cardboard on the Billboard charts, but yet you want to be the judge. Okay, Drew, let's calm it down a little bit. So then with that being said, Shamia, she comes out on stage to do her thing. I'm not really sure what that is, but she comes out regardless, looking like a gay scientist with this long trench coat. It's all sparkly, bedazzled, and I'm like, give me 1 second. Let me put this shit on turbo mode. Like Shamia, it was just a giant concoction of mess. And don't get me wrong, I love the song, so I would have been in this gymnasium supporting Shamia. I would have been in the crowd like, waiting with your t-shirt. What the hell is she wearing, Cynthia? Is that a trench coat? Waiting up with your t-shirt on. Is that a sombrero? What part of the song requires that hat? Waiting up with your t-shirt. Are those sneakers? Like, everybody probably went into this high school being supportive, thinking, oh, we're gonna go support Shamia. And what happened when they left? They probably all left with a concussion, a headache, confused, dizziness, all because they were looking at her outfits. But I will say, though, she does redeem herself with her reunion look because she looks beautiful, but we'll get there when we get there. So eventually, the high school talent show is over. Shamia, I believe she came in second or third place. She goes backstage to meet everybody, and they're all hyping her up. Angela, she asks everyone, so did everybody get the invitation to my gala that me and Mr. Charles Oakley is throwing? Is everybody coming? So they're like, yeah, actually give us the link so we can promote it on Instagram because we all have followers, right, Waffles? So then Britt, out of nowhere, she calls out Waffles and she was just like, oh, well, 50,000 of her followers are fake. Just unprovoked, just out of nowhere, right? So eventually they continue going back and forth. That didn't go anywhere. Now we're just down to Shamia and Nicki Minaj. Shamia, she tells Nicki, why did you tell Portia that I showed you messages between me and her? I never did that. So then Britt, she was just like, yeah, you did. Why would I lie about that? Now, is it bad that I kind of believe Britt? I feel like Britt at this point, she's very desperate for anything and anyone, and she'll throw anyone or anything underneath the bus, including you, Shamia. And Shamia probably never thought that Britt was going to expose her, but yet, we're dealing with Britt here, so what do you expect? So eventually they continue going back and forth. Now, Britt, this is where you lose me because she tells Shamia, was all that crying that you were doing in Grenada, was all that fake because you came back from the cast trip and then you went straight to Miami with Kelly, to pop bottles and, you were having fun and everything instead of going to your daughter. So was that even a thing? And I'm like, ooh, Britt, why are we mentioning daughters? Why are we talking about her parenting skills? But at the same time, I'm also questioning Shamia, because I think there is footage of them in Miami after the Grenada trip. And I mean, you were so emotionally, bothered by what was going on with your daughter. Yet I would just assume that you would want to come home right away, but yet you went to Miami with Kelly. So then Shamia, she was just like, oh, you're talking about my daughter? You're talking about my daughter? No, I'm not going to talk to you. You pop pills, blah, blah, blah. And she walks away. And I'm like, that's it, Shamia? I mean, you're going to let Britt one-up you? She one-upped Kelly last week, and now she one-upped Shamia this episode. Is this a comeback to Britt? Britt, I feel like these last couple of episodes, I actually see potential with her on the show, but it's too late now. I don't think that she's coming back. But then again, all that potential goes right out the window because then we get a little scene of Britt and her suspicious husband playing pretend on Barbie's jet plane. And I'm not really sure what kind of jet plane this was. This must have been the kids' version of jet planes because they're just squeezed into the seats like this. She's over here just bending her neck because, the ceiling's about to touch her. And she's looking at her husband over there like, oh yeah, I think this is the one, babe. I'm like, please, Britt, why are you wasting everybody's time filming this scene? You're leaving here empty-handed, and the person who's showing them around, he's sitting outside this jet plane, pissed off, like, I already saw that one episode of the show that she was on, the Real Housewives or something like that. I saw that one episode of her bringing the toilet paper. I know she can't afford this jet plane. Hey, boss, can I go home? Just pissed off because they're not gonna make any commission off Britt. Britt, who are you fooling? And speaking of fooling, then we see Ralph and Drew. Where's my fan? Ralph, he's in his he's in his basement. He texts what's her name? He texts Drew. He's like, hey, can I come up? Like, seriously, Ralph and Drew, especially you, Ralph, you really need to get it together. Like, how can you allow the cameras to film you telling somebody, oh, can I go upstairs? Like, that is crazy. Don't you want to move out? We finally get to Angela and Charles Oakley's gala. It's a fundraiser to raise money to give back to people. The cast shows up. They're mingling. They're taking pictures. Everything is good, right? For now. So Angela, she's on stage. She's honoring different people. Then she throws me off because she's like, I want to honor this next person. She has been such a close friend of mine, and I want to give a shout out to Portia Williams. And I'm like, Portia? On one side, I'm thinking, okay, I get why she's doing it because of Portia's legacy with her grandfather and because of what just happened with her cousin. Understandable. But then the petty side of me is thinking, this is the same person who joked around and said that she would fuck your husband a couple of episodes ago. And you're okay with that? And you're honoring her on stage? Like, how is that okay? You know, I mean, she's better than me, but if I was to do it, I'll at least take a small little jab at Portia on stage. I'll be like, I want to honor Portia, homewrecker. Who said that? Williams. You know, give her a little something at least, but to honor Portia, that is crazy, right? And then it was even crazier because as Portia is done with her speech, they're just taking pictures. Charles, he's right in the middle, and you know Portia, all she's thinking is,
Oh, I can't wait to try to take him from Angela next season.
like, Portia, please stop it. Let's not even be a one and done situation. And, you know, let's learn from our mistakes, right? Because I do love Portia and I love Angela. So eventually, you know, they all sit down. Angela, you know, she's mingling with everybody. Portia, she gets a bit emotional because they start singing Lift Every Voice. She starts thinking about her cousin. She starts crying. So they all, you know, circle her. They're trying to, you know, keep her together from her makeup from, you know, going on her face. Eventually, they all sit down, and then Angela goes on to explain in the confessional that she actually met up with Marcus, you know, the guy that, you know, came up to her last week, which I wish we would have had a proper scene. Bravo, once again, not giving us what we wanted. You know, instead we get it in a flashback. I would have loved to see what he had to say and, you know, what she had to say to him, but you know, we see in a flashback that she does, you know, want to question him in person, so she invited him to this gala. Already things are looking a little staged, but we'll get there. So now for some reason, Drew, she invited Marcus to the gala. I'm not sure why or how they know each other, but apparently they do. So Marcus eventually he gets there, right? Angela, she's looking at this like, okay, everything is going according to plan. You know, I already honored that home wrecker. You know, Marcus, he's here. Phaedra, okay, she's sitting down. I'm going to expose her in a couple of minutes. Okay, everything is good. Oh, there's Marcus. So she starts making her way over to Marcus, right, to try to question him, allegedly question him, right, as if she doesn't already know his answers. Marcus, he's getting closer. All of a sudden, you see Mr. Charles Oakley. He just bum rushes, and he's just like, get the fuck out. And I mean, you can't even be upset with him because, I mean, first of all, this is his event. And you were just talking bad about him last week, saying he's a cheater, he's this, that, and the third, basically trying to ruin their marriage. And now you just expect him to just be okay with you walking in here. And Angela, I feel like Angela didn't go over the script with her husband the night before. And that's why this whole thing played out the way it did. Because this whole thing seemed very staged from Angela. Surprisingly, like, Angela, I'm so disappointed. Because as of now, nothing has felt staged from Angela. But this whole thing just felt like very fake and phony. And she probably thought, damn it, I forgot to tell my husband that Marcus was coming, that he was part of this plan. You know, because Charles, he loses it. He's like, no, get the fuck out, get out right now. Angela, she gets in between them. She's like, no, stop. Apollo, stop. Apollo, you have children. She's like, Charles, no. Charles, trust. Can you cut the camera for a second? You can't? You have to keep filming? Okay. Charles, this is part of my plan. No, this is all fake. I invited him. We're gonna expose Phaedra in like 5 minutes. Hey, Charles, calm the hell down. Calm down. Okay, I promise if you just calm down, you could go out with 2 whores tonight. I promise. Just calm down. I know what I'm doing. Trust me. And she was just trying to calm him down because he was about to mess up the entire finale for her. And that's why she was pissed. So eventually she's like, Marcus, get your ass over here. Hurry up. So sit down. Okay, cameras, are we still filming? Okay. What was part of the script? Hold on. Give me 1 second. Hold on. I forgot my lines. Okay, so Marcus, he shows up. I ask him to sit down with us. Phaedra has to be sitting next to him. Okay, and then I question him. Marcus, what exactly, okay, wait, first of all, who told you to tell me about my husband last week? Who was that? And Marcus, I don't know what was going on with Marcus. I feel like he needs to get a good massage on his neck because for some reason he was just like this the entire time. And he was just like, well, the person who told me about it was Phaedra. Who's sitting right next to him. Phaedra is looking at him like, wait, what, me? What did I do? Who said that? And is it bad that I kind of sort of believe Phaedra? I know last week in my last review, I was dragging Phaedra saying that she's responsible. She's the one that hired him. But now I don't know. I just don't feel like Phaedra will be this dumb or messy to get caught up in something like this and get exposed again like this. Either she's too smart or I'm dumb or both. But Marcus, he continues and he was just like, yeah, it was Phaedra. I mean, she gave me an envelope of money. You know, she threatened my family. She's the Godfather of Atlanta. And that's when I lost it. I'm like, okay, we could stop the finale right here. The Godfather of Atlanta. Please, if anybody is watching from Atlanta, please let me know. Is Phaedra known as the Godfather in Atlanta? Like, that just seems so extreme. And he said it with such a serious face, as if like, you know, she's like this big bad person in Atlanta. Like, it's Phaedra Parks. Unless she really is the Godfather. In that case, I take it back, Phaedra, and I'm so sorry. I love you. So then Angela, she continues with her script, right? Okay, so he finally called her the grandfather. What am I supposed to say? I can't believe you, Phaedra. Why would you do this to me? Okay. I can't believe you, Phaedra. Why would you do this to me? I can't believe, I thought we were friends. What happened? I'm like, Angela, you and Marcus, terrible actresses, like actors, just horrible, right? Like, just the whole Tyler Perry production. Ugh. So then Phaedra, she's looking at Angela like she genuinely does not want to go back and forth with her. She was like, what are you talking about? I don't do this, the Godfather. You know, and then Angela, this was the cherry on top that made me feel like you definitely staged this whole thing, because Angela has been very quick-witted with her words the entire season. But yet she starts quoting the movie, the actual Godfather movie, to Phaedra. And I just don't think that anybody will have a Godfather quote memorized in their head that well in an argument like this to bring up. Like, why? So she tells Phaedra heard the quote from the movie, and I'm like, okay, that landed flat. Like, what are we doing, Angela? So eventually Marcus, he gets escorted out. Charles, he's left because he's just pissed. He's like, no, this is too much for me. So that was that. I believe Shamia, what were you wearing? She was wearing a corset with a skirt and a hoodie. I don't know where she was going, what the weather was in Atlanta this night, but she was there. She starts whispering to Waffles, oh, I bet it was Britt. You know, it was probably Britt. I don't think that it was Britt either. I don't think that Britt has the brain to even come up with anything like this, let alone to get in contact with Marcus. So, let alone the money to pay Marcus. So I definitely don't think it's Britt. I don't think it's any of them, honestly. I actually somewhat agree with Portia, what she said in the confessional.
I actually think that Angela did this to herself.
Like, that must be the only explanation, but why? You know, why would she do that? To try to clear up Charles' name? Is she that desperate for it? Like, I don't know. But eventually, Britt, she hears Shamia, because Shamia is like, oh yeah, I want to go beat her ass, talking about Britt. Britt is just like, is that a threat? And first of all, Shamia, if you wanted to do that, you should have done that at your show when she was somewhat talking about your daughter. So then Britt was just like, you know what? I'm not doing this with you. So she gets up. I believe Shamia starts calling her a whore. She's like, look, you little whore. I'm like, oh my, this finale is just going off the rails very quickly. You know, Britt starts taking off their mic. Everybody's taking off their mic. Angela is telling Phaedra, I can't believe you. You know, you're such a horrible person. Why would you try to ruin my marriage? First of all, your husband is doing a very perfect job ruining the marriage itself. So I don't really think you need Phaedra. Phaedra out of nowhere, she's like, your houses are going for foreclosure. I'm like, what was that about? Like, I'm telling you, people are just throwing random things at each other in this finale. And then we start seeing all the goodbyes. Kelly, I believe she is still going through her divorce, or she went through her divorce. She's actually getting sued right now for $26,000 in credit card or something like that. And I believe it has to do with her ex-husband, so that's a shame. For Britt, I forgot what they put for Britt, that she's doing her workout line still. I wish that Bravo would have been petty and would have put, she is suing Bravo. For so and so and so, but then we skip to 5 months later. We see Portia. She bought this big ass house. It is beautiful, and honestly, looking back on it, I can't even be upset with Portia for taking Simon away from Fallon, because I mean, look what it got her, this beautiful house. You know, it just goes to show that sometimes you just gotta sacrifice your integrity and you know, you as a person, and you have to not have shame, and then you'll get a house. You know, house integrity. As for Simon, he got detained, and I'm not sure who the petty producer or editor was that they put, Simon has been put on ice, like ICE, and just so petty. So that's that. The reunion starts next week. It's a 3-parter. And as for next season, I feel like Britt should go. Kelly, she could come back. Shamia should go back to being a friend. Portia should come back. Phaedra, I guess she's coming back. She should be a friend of. Cynthia should be a friend of. Bring Marlo back. Bring Sheree back. Kenya back. Nene, she will come back. So, let's just get the original cast back together just one more time. And let's just see if it could work again. But let me know what you all thought about this whole entire finale. Do you think this whole thing was staged by Angela? Do you think Marcus is telling the truth? Do you think that Phaedra is the Godfather of Atlanta? And are you scared of her? Let me know down in the comments. Or should I be scared of her? Let me know down in the comments. Bye, everybody. Mwah.